Taro stands amidst a sea of cherry blossoms, their petals swirling like whispers around him, painting the air with ethereal grace. His hands, calloused from years of wielding a sword, now rest gently by his side, as if the weight of the world has been momentarily lifted. Do cherry blossoms fall for the sake of falling, or to return to their roots? Aiko asks, her voice a soft, curious melody breaking the silence. She stands beside him, her presence as serene as the morning mist. Taro looks down at her, the corners of his lips curving into a faint smile. Perhaps they fall, so we might remember their beauty, he replies, his voice calm but tinged with a trace of melancholy. Aiko reaches out, catching a petal as it drifts toward the earth. Then maybe they fall for us, to remind us of something we've forgotten. Taro nods, a thoughtful pause enveloping him. He sees in her eyes a reflection of hope, a glimmer of something he thought he had long lost in the shadows of his past. The gentle rustle of the blossoms draws his gaze upward, where pink petals dance against the azure sky, a fleeting tapestry of life's impermanence. Do you ever wonder what lies beyond the horizon, Taro? Aiko asks, her eyes following his. Every day, he answers, his voice a quiet echo of dreams unspoken. But I find answers here, among these trees, in this village, with you. Aiko smiles, a lightness in her step as she begins to walk, her fingers brushing the tips of the tall grass. There's a silence between them that speaks volumes, a shared understanding deeper than words. The path leads them through the village where whispers of everyday life drift like an unseen current. The distant call of a cicada fills the air, a rhythmic heartbeat that marks the passage of time. And then, with a sudden rustle, a fox with eyes like molten gold appears briefly, its gaze piercing as if it carries the weight of ancient secrets. Aiko pauses, enchanted by its presence. "Did you see?" she whispers, her voice a gentle breath against the stillness. Taro nods, his senses tingling with the uncanny awareness of something beyond comprehension. The fox vanishes into the shadows, leaving a single white petal in its wake, a silent messenger of the mysteries that bind their world in threads unseen. "Strange," Taro murmurs, feeling the pulse of an ancient presence. "It's as if the forest watches over us." "And the river remembers," Aiko adds, their voices mingling with the wind, carrying promises yet to unfold. Promises written in the language of falling blossoms. The sun dips lower, casting a golden hue over the village path as Taro and Aiko walk side by side. A rustle among the cherry trees catches Aiko's attention. Her eyes widen, transfixed. "Look," she breathes, pointing ahead. Taro follows her gaze to see a fox emerging from the shadows, its eyes an enigmatic molten gold. "It watches us," Aiko muses, stepping closer. Her curiosity pulls her like a tide, yet Taro feels the weight of caution tethering him. "It's different," he murmurs as the fox meets his gaze, holding an ancient wisdom within those glowing orbs. The fox, with a flick of its tail, turns away. Their hearts quicken as it vanishes, leaving nothing but a single white petal drifting slowly to the ground. Aiko kneels, catching it gently. "A gift?" she wonders aloud, her voice a soft echo in the silence. Taro, feeling the petal's fragile texture, nods. "Perhaps," he replies, though his mind lingers on the fox's knowing eyes. Aiko's face is alight with wonder, a reflection of innocence and trust. "Did you see?" she asks. "I did," Taro answers, his voice a quiet reassurance. He steps closer to her, feeling an unspoken connection in the shared mystery. The air around them thickens, heavy with the scent of blossoms and whispers of the unseen. Aiko, her fingers brushing against Taro's with unintentional tenderness, smiles softly. It's as if the world wants to tell us something, she says, her voice a gentle melody. Taro looks at her, recognizing the truth in her words, sensing the presence of something larger, something waiting to unfold. They continue their walk, the path beneath their feet winding like the stories of old. Taro feels a pull within, toward things unseen and stories untold. Aiko, he begins, searching for words that elude him. Yes, she prompts, her eyes meeting his with an openness that calms the turmoil in his heart. Do you believe in signs? He asks, the question a bridge between their worlds. Aiko laughs softly, a sound like the rustling of leaves. I believe in what I feel, she replies, her gaze drifting to the place where the fox disappeared. And I feel that we are not alone. Taro nods, the understanding settling within him like a familiar weight. Then we walk together, he says, his voice firm yet gentle, as they step forward into the unfolding tapestry of fate, the petal in Aiko's hand, a silent promise of the journey to come. XT. Riverbank. Day. The gentle murmur of the river cradles the air with a soft, undulating melody. Kaito stands still, his silhouette a statue against the flowing water. His robes, worn and faded, ripple faintly in the breeze, whispering secrets of past lives. The river remembers all who cross it, Kaito says, his voice a low, resonant hum. His eyes, the color of ancient wood, are fixed on the dancing currents, as if searching for something lost to time. Taro approaches slowly, each step deliberate. The earth beneath his feet feels solid, reassuring. He stops beside Kaito, his gaze following the elders. It holds their stories, Taro asks. Yes. And their burdens, Kaito replies, his fingers tracing invisible patterns in the air. The currents are like veins, carrying history to the sea. Taro listens, the weight of his past pressing against his chest like a forgotten scar. His hand curls into a fist, a silent vow tightening his resolve. I won't let her suffer. Not Aiko. Kaito nods, his demeanor a blend of weathered wisdom and gentle strength. To protect, one must understand the heart of the river, its rhythm, its patience. His gaze shifts to Taro. Your heart must be like the water. Taro absorbs the elder's words, feeling them settle into the depths of his soul. His eyes drift to the river again, watching as it swirls around stones, finding paths unseen. I will be as the river, he murmurs, his voice a promise to himself and those he cherishes. The river's song begins to shift, carrying a tone of quiet encouragement. It seems to echo Taro's silent pledge, a supportive undercurrent in the tapestry of life. Kaito turns to Taro, his expression softening with a touch of paternal warmth. Remember, Taro, every choice, every sacrifice, binds us to the river. Taro nods, the gravity of Kaito's words resonating through him. He steps closer to the water, letting its coolness brush against his fingertips. We are all currents in its flow, he whispers, the realization settling like mist over the riverbank. The two men stand together, united in their silence, the river weaving their stories into its endless journey. Above them, the sky begins to shift, hinting at the complexities of twilight, an eternal cycle of endings and beginnings. Aiko's laughter spills over the river, a cascade of joy that mingles with the gentle murmur of the water. Her feet dance along the stones at the edge, her spirit light and unburdened. Taro watches, a soft smile tugging at his lips, as if the simple happiness of the moment can eclipse the shadows that linger within him. Suddenly, the sound of hooves and hurried footsteps shatter the tranquility like a stone thrown into still water. Strangers, clad in armor and cloaked in purpose, emerge from the trees, their eyes piercing with a fervor that chills the air. Hana rushes over, her face pale as the moon. They come for you, she whispers urgently to Aiko, her voice trembling, like the leaves in a storm. Aiko steps back, her laughter silenced by the weight of unspoken fear. Her eyes meet Taro's, seeking the strength she knows he holds within. "Who are they?" she breathes, her voice barely a whisper, yet it resonates like a plea for understanding. Taro moves with deliberate grace, positioning himself between Aiko and the encroaching threat. "Seekers of destiny," he replies, his tone calm yet underscored by a fierce protectiveness. "They believe you are the one foretold, the one to bring balance." Hana's eyes dart between the strangers and Aiko, her hands clutching each other as if to hold her courage together. "We must hide, or fight," she urges, the decision hovering like a fragile promise between them. The leader of the strangers steps forward, his voice carrying an authority that demands attention. "Child of prophecy," he calls, "your fate is not yours alone to decide." Aiko's heart quickens, yet her gaze remains steady. "I do not know the path you seek," she responds, her words steady, though her voice quivers like a reed in the wind. Taro's hand, firm and reassuring, rests on the hilt of his sword. "Her light must not be extinguished by fear or force," he declares, his words a vow, unyielding as the mountains that cradle their village. Hana nods, her fear tempered by a newfound resolve. "We stand together," she affirms, her voice gaining strength as the villagers gather, forming a protective circle around Aiko. The strangers pause, assessing the silent unity before them. Their leader's eyes narrow, calculating yet respectful. Of the strength that defies mere numbers. Aiko looks at Taro, her fear melting into a quiet determination. "I won't run," she says softly, her spirit as unyielding as the river's flow. Taro nods, his heart swelling with the protector's pride. "Then, together, we will face whatever comes," he assures her, ready to defend the light that has rekindled his own. The forest breathes with the whispers of night, a cradle of shadows and soft moonlight. The fox spirit Yuki, eyes like molten gold, stands at the edge of the village, its gaze fixed upon Taro. In its presence, the air tingles with ancient energy, a call that Taro cannot ignore. He steps forward, drawn by a pull he cannot name. "Taro." Aiko's voice drifts on the wind, a delicate thread tethering him to the world behind. "Where are you going?" "I must follow," Taro replies, his feet already moving toward the trees, his heart a drumbeat of anticipation. "There's something I need to see." Yuki turns, a flicker of white against the darkness, and Taro follows its lead into the forest. The path is not one of earth and leaves, but of memories, ephemeral and shimmering beneath the canopy. Each step carries him deeper into the embrace of the night, where the forest sings a song of forgotten honor. "Why now?" Taro murmurs into the silence, the question a sigh on his lips. His hands, once calloused and sure, now tremble with the weight of history. "What is it you want to show me?" Yuki pauses by an ancient shrine, roots of trees twisted around, stones, as if holding the earth together. Moonlight spills over the sacred pond, its surface a mirror of Taro's soul. He kneels beside it, his reflection rippling with the stories of battles past, a tapestry of courage and regret. "Do you see?" Yuki's voice dances on the breeze, a melody of wisdom and compassion. "The battles you fought, they were not for nothing." Taro's eyes meet his own reflection, a younger, fiercer self staring back. "I fought for survival," he says, the words a confession. "But now, it's different. I'm fighting for something more." The vision shifts, showing glimpses of Aiko, her laughter a beacon in the darkness. Her light, the heart of the village's spirit, illuminates the path he must protect. Taro closes his eyes, the realization settling over him like a gentle rain. "Her light must not be extinguished," he whispers, his resolve a steady flame. The pond shimmers, a testament to his promise. Yuki nods, the fox spirit's form dissolving into mist. Remember, you are not alone. As Taro rises, the forest breathes with him, a witness to his vow. He steps back into the world of the living, heart carrying the weight of purpose renewed. The villagers gathered in the square, a sea of faces painted with uncertainty, their whispers like the rustling leaves of autumn. Kaito stood at the center, his presence commanding yet gentle, an anchor in the storm. His eyes scanned the crowd, finding each soul tethered to the fate of this place. The time has come to choose. Kaito's voice carried over the murmurs, as steady as the river's flow. Fight or flee. Taro's hand brushed against Aiko's, a silent promise exchanged amidst the brewing tension. The weight of his past battles lay heavy on his shoulders, yet his gaze remained unyielding. He took a step forward, the ground firm beneath him, and the villagers fell silent. "I will stay," Taro declared, his voice unwavering. Her light must not be extinguished. Aiko stood beside him, her presence a beacon of calm. She nodded, her eyes meeting Taro's with a shared understanding that transcended words. Her heart swelled with a mixture of fear and determination. "We are stronger together," she added, her voice gentle yet resolute. "Our spirits intertwined like the branches of the ancient trees." Kaito nodded, his heart buoyed by the courage of the younger generation. "We have faced darkness before," he continued, his words a soft echo of the past. "And we have emerged stronger each time. Trust in one another." A ripple of agreement spread through the crowd, a collective exhale of resolve. Old grudges were forgotten, replaced by a newfound unity. Hana, her eyes clouded with tears, stepped forward, her voice trembling yet firm. "For Aiko, for Taro, for us all." Taro felt a warmth spread through him, a resurgence of purpose ignited by their shared commitment. The weight of his sword at his side was a familiar comfort, its hilt a reminder of battles fought and won. His heart, once burdened by solitude, now beat in rhythm with those around him. The village elder smiled, a soft, knowing smile that whispered of the cycle of life, of endings and beginnings. "Then we stand together," Kaito proclaimed, his voice a gentle crescendo. "As one." The villagers, emboldened by their unity, nodded in agreement. The air crackled with a palpable energy, anticipation mingling with the scent of cherry blossoms. The decision made, they dispersed with purposeful strides, each step a declaration of their shared fate. Taro and Aiko remained for a moment longer, savoring the quiet before the storm. "We will find a way," Aiko whispered, her hand slipping into Taro's. Together, Taro agreed, his heart a steady drumbeat, a promise of hope and redemption. The village square lay quiet under the cool gaze of the moon. Taro stood at the center, his heart swelling as he watched the villagers gather, their faces etched with fear and hope. Aiko stood beside him, her presence a balm to his troubled soul. The night air was heavy with anticipation, a silent prayer whispered by the earth itself. From the shadows, the fox Yuki emerged, its form shifting like mist until it stood tall, a majestic spirit, cloaked in celestial light. The villagers gasped, awestruck by the transformation. Taro, his breath caught in his throat, felt the air crackle with magic as Yuki spoke, its voice a gentle rustle of leaves. "You are not alone," Yuki intoned, its eyes like pools of starlit water. "Your destinies are woven together, bound by threads of choice and sacrifice." Taro's heart stirred, the weight of those words settling upon him like a cloak of ancient wisdom. He nodded, filled with an understanding that transcended the spoken word. "We are stronger together," he replied, his voice a quiet resolve that rippled through the crowd. Aiko stepped forward, her gaze meeting Yuki's with a fearless light. "Can we change what is written?" she asked, her words a soft challenge to fate itself. Yuki's gaze softened, its presence a comforting warmth that enveloped them all. "The path is ever-changing," it said, its form shifting gently with the wind. Each step, a chance to reshape the story. Each choice, a brushstroke on the canvas of destiny. The villagers, hearts lifted, began to murmur amongst themselves. Taro watched them, his resolve strengthened by their shared courage. He turned to Aiko, his expression softening. "We will protect our home," he murmured, the promise a sacred vow between them. Aiko nodded, a smile breaking through her worry. "Together," she agreed, her voice a harmonious echo of his own. In the silent aftermath, Yuki's form shimmered, its presence fading like a shadow beneath the rising sun. "Guard each other well," it whispered, its words a lingering melody in the night air. Taro, feeling the spirit's parting blessing, bowed deeply, his heart a vessel of newfound purpose. As Yuki vanished into the night, the villagers stood united, their spirits bound by an invisible thread of hope. Taro held Aiko's hand, feeling the pulse of life that flowed between them. A testament to their shared journey, a promise of the dawn yet to come. The village, bathed in the soft glow of twilight, gathers around the square. Aiko stands at its heart, her kimono fluttering like a butterfly poised for flight. She closes her eyes, her breathing synchronizing with the whispers of the wind. The villagers watch in hushed anticipation, their hopes tethered to the young girl who stands before them. "Aiko," Taro's voice is a gentle murmur, barely audible amidst the rustling leaves. "Are you ready?" She nods, her eyes opening to reveal a depth that seems to encompass the sky itself. "Yes, I am." With a graceful sweep of her arms, Aiko begins to move. Her feet trace patterns upon the earth, each step a delicate brushstroke, painting a tale of life and death. The villagers, drawn by the ethereal dance, feel a stirring in their own souls, a connection that transcends the mortal plane. "Can you feel it?" Kaito whispers to Taro, his gaze unyielding from the girl who dances with such otherworldly grace. Taro nods, his heart swelling with an emotion he can't quite name. It's as if the earth itself breathes with her. The air thickens with a palpable energy, and the village seems to pulse in time with Aiko's movements. Each twirl of her body sends ripples through the fabric of reality, calling forth ancient spirits from their slumber. Her dance is a bridge between worlds, an invocation to the guardians of their land. Yuki, in its fox form, watches from the shadows, its eyes reflecting the dance's sacred rhythm. The spirit's presence is a silent benediction, a reminder of the unseen forces that guide them. The spirits answer her call. Hana breathes, her voice laced with awe. She clutches her hands to her chest, feeling the warmth of a long-forgotten hope returning to her heart. As Aiko's dance reaches its crescendo, the sky above begins to shimmer with a celestial light. Stars, like scattered petals, twinkle in response to the earthly symphony below. The villagers, captivated, find their fears melting away, replaced by a profound sense of unity. When Aiko finally comes to a stop, her chest heaving with exertion, she looks to Taro. Her gaze is steady, filled with an understanding that transcends words. "Now, we are not alone," she says softly, a smile playing at her lips. Taro steps forward, feeling the weight of his own burdens lifting. "Together, we will face whatever comes." In that moment, the village is no longer just a collection of individuals, but a tapestry woven with the threads of shared destiny and renewed purpose. Hana stood beside Taro beneath the gentle glow of the moon, her presence a quiet comfort in the thickening night. She looked out at the village, its lanterns flickering, like fireflies in the dark. "You know," she began softly, her voice a tender whisper against the silence, "love can bloom even in the shadow of death." Her gaze was steady, filled with a longing that spoke of stories untold and dreams unfulfilled. Taro turned to her, the weight of her words setting heavily upon his heart. He watched as a tear, glistening like a fallen star, traced a path down her cheek. In that moment, he saw not only the fear but the courage within her, the hope that had kept them all standing firm in the face of the unknown. "Hana," he murmured, his voice barely a breath. "I never knew love could be so resilient." Hana smiled, a bittersweet curve upon her lips, and reached out to touch his arm. A warmth spread through him, like the first light of dawn breaking through the night. "It is," she said, her voice carrying the strength of 1,000 dawns. "And it endures, even when the shadows grow long." The night air was cool against their skin, a gentle reminder of the world that continued to turn, despite the trials they faced. Taro felt his resolve deepen, a quiet determination taking root within his soul, an acceptance that his path was no longer his alone. "You have given me something I thought I had lost," he confessed, his eyes reflecting the light of the stars above, a reason to fight for more than just survival. Hana nodded, her heart full with the unspoken bond that now lay between them. She knew that this moment, this quiet exchange, was a promise, a testament to the sacrifices they were willing to make. "We walk this path together," she affirmed, her voice a gentle promise. "Whatever comes." As they stood amidst the silence, the world around them seemed to hold its breath, waiting, watching, witnessing the choices that would shape their destinies. Taro, his spirit rekindled by her words, knew that redemption was not a solitary journey, but a path lit by the courage and love of those who dared to walk it beside him. Hana stepped back, her laughter a soft breeze that carried away the remnants of her tears, and Taro felt a peace settle within him, a realization that his soul had been unfettered, freed by the understanding that true strength lay in the threads that bound them all together. The sky is a canvas of soft pastels, painted with the dawn of a new day. Taro, standing at the village's edge, feels the breeze whispering secrets only the winds know. The cherry blossoms, delicate and serene, flutter around him like gentle spirits. He turns to Aiko, her eyes reflecting the morning's fragile light. "Taro," she says, her voice a melody of concern and sorrow. "Must you face them alone?" He reaches out, brushing a stray petal from her hair. "Aiko, this is a path only I can walk." His voice is calm, a river flowing with resolve. "But your life..." He shakes his head, a soft smile playing on his lips. "Life is not measured by its length, but by its depth. You taught me that." Aiko lowers her gaze, her heart heavy with unspoken fears. "I do not wish to lose you." "You won't," Taro replies, his words a gentle promise. "I will be with you, in every step and every breath." The village behind them begins to stir, the villagers waking to a day shrouded in uncertainty. Taro feels their collective heartbeat, a rhythm that echoes his own. Hana approaches, her expression a mixture of pride and pain. "Taro, we believe in you." He nods, gratitude shining in his eyes. "Thank you, Hana. This village, you are all my family." The fox spirit Yuki appears at the edge of the forest, its eyes like molten gold, an eternal witness to the unfolding drama. Taro senses its presence, a silent companion in this journey. Aiko steps closer, her hand finding his. "Promise me that your spirit will guide us." He tightens his grip, a final anchor before the storm. "I promise, Aiko. My heart will always be your guardian." The first light of the sun casts a golden hue over the invaders as they approach, their figures silhouetted. Against the horizon, Taro gazes at them, his eyes unclouded by fear. "It's time." Aiko watches him, her heart aching with both love and loss. Return to us in the cherry blossoms. Taro bows his head, a warrior's farewell, his spirit calm and unwavering. In every petal, I will be there. With purposeful steps, he moves forward, the cherry blossoms swirling around him like a gentle farewell. Each step a beat in the symphony of life, each breath a prayer for peace. As he faces the encroaching darkness, his heart remains a beacon of light. The sun hangs low, casting long shadows that dance with the wind's breath. Cherry blossoms drift down like silent witnesses, their descent a quiet benediction. Taro stands at the village edge, a lone sentinel amidst the swirling petals. His hands cradle the hilt of his sword, not with force, but with grace. Aiko approaches, her steps light as she halts beside him, eyes reflecting an unspoken bond. "Taro, must it be you?" Aiko's voice is a gentle tremor, a thread of vulnerability woven with strength. "It must," Taro replies, his gaze steady as the horizon. "For the village. For you." Aiko nods, her heart heavy yet filled with admiration. "Then go with the spirit's blessing," she whispers, her hand touching his arm, a moment of warmth amidst the chill of fate. The invaders approach, their figures a stark contrast against the delicate hues of dawn. Taro steps forward, each stride, a testament to his resolve, a silent vow echoing in the spaces between heartbeats. His sword gleams, catching the light like a beacon of hope amidst gathering shadows. "Will you fight alone?" asks an invader, his tone a mix of disbelief and scorn. "Alone? No." Taro answers softly, his voice carrying the weight of lives and dreams entwined. "I fight with all who have come before me, with all who will come after." The invader laughs, a sound that cuts through the air like a jagged blade. "And what do you hope to achieve against so many?" Taro pauses, cherry blossoms caressing his cheek like the memory of a lover's touch. "To remind you that even in the face of darkness, light can prevail." The invader lunges, his blade a swift arc of malice. Taro meets him, their swords clashing with a metallic hymn, a dance choreographed by destiny's hand. Each movement of Taro's is precise, a fusion of serenity and strength, as if the cherry blossoms themselves guide his strikes. Around them, the petals continue to fall, a gentle farewell that whispers secrets only the wind understands. Aiko watches. From a distance, her heart a symphony of emotions, pride and sorrow entwined like vines on destiny's trellis. Taro parries another blow, his expression calm, unyielding. His sword becomes an extension of his will, each motion a prayer for peace. "We choose our path," he murmurs, voice barely above the sigh of the breeze. And as the battle rages, Taro's spirit remains unbroken, a beacon for those who dare to hope, a testament to the quiet power of sacrifice. The battlefield lay beneath a sky streaked with dawn's fragile hues, the air heavy with cherry blossom petals adrift like ghosts. Taro stood amidst their delicate descent, each petal a whisper of inevitability. His eyes, calm as still waters, met those of the leader who loomed before him, a formidable shadow against the rising sun. "Your name," the leader demanded, voice carrying the gravity of battles past. "Taro," he answered quietly, grounding himself, in the earth beneath his feet, feeling the pulse of life that surged through it. "And yours?" The leader hesitated, a flicker of humanity crossing the stern planes of his face. "Kenshin," he replied, the name steeped in unspoken history. Taro nodded, a silent acknowledgement of the path that brought them here. "In another life, we might have walked as brothers." Kenshin's brow furrowed, a brief crack in his hardened exterior. "In this life, we stand opposed." "Perhaps," Taro agreed, shifting his weight with a grace born of years under the tutelage of the blade. "But today, let us fight not as enemies, but as men who understand the cost of their choices. As they circled one another, the silence was punctuated by the distant murmur of the river, an eternal witness to their shared fate. Kenshin's stance was rigid, a fortress of tension. Will you yield, or must we draw blood to find peace? Taro smiled, a serene acceptance in his eyes. Peace is not found. It is forged. In a fluid motion, Taro advanced, the sword in his hand an extension of his will. Kenshin met him with a clash of steel, their movements a dance of life and death. Each stroke was deliberate, a testament to the lives they led, the dreams they harbored. Why do you defend them? Kenshin pressed, the clash of their swords ringing like ancient bells. For every blossom that falls, Taro replied, there is a seed ready to grow. Their blades met in a final crescendo, the force of their wills manifest in a moment of profound clarity. You fight with a spirit untethered, Kenshin observed, stepping back, his guard faltering. Taro lowered his sword, the weight of his resolve lifting. My spirit dances among the blossoms. It is free. As Kenshin sought understanding in Taro's eyes, a gentle breeze carried the fox spirit's whisper. Your soul is free. With one final graceful movement, Taro surrendered to destiny. His life, a prayer whispered on the wind. Thank you, he murmured as the cherry blossoms embraced him, his spirit joining their eternal dance. The village, though marked by loss, stands resilient and strong, the river flowing with a renewed clarity. Aiko stands at the front of the gathered villagers, her priestess robes catching the morning light like the first blush of dawn on a tranquil sea. The air is thick with the scent of incense, curling upward like whispers of the past. Today, we honor those who have walked their final path. Aiko's voice is steady, like the river's gentle murmur, and celebrate the strength they have passed to us. The villagers listen, their faces a tapestry of sorrow, gratitude, and resolve. They hold hands, a silent promise binding them together. Aiko steps forward, her movements deliberate and filled with grace as she kneels to light the ceremonial fire, a beacon of hope amidst the shadows of mourning. Each flame, she continues, watching the fire dance, is a soul, a memory, a guide. Her words weave through the crowd, touching hearts like the softest of caresses. Kaido, standing at the edge of the gathering, nods, his wisdom a silent testament to the cycle of life and loss. We are stronger together, he murmurs, his voice carrying like an echo through the ages. Children run in circles around the gathering, laughter bubbling like a spring renewed. Aiko smiles at them, a warmth blooming in her chest. The future is theirs to hold, she whispers, knowing Taro's spirit watches over them all, a guardian in the unseen spaces. A gentle breeze stirs the cherry blossoms, sending them cascading like gentle rain. The petals touch the earth, quiet reminders of resilience and rebirth. We must remember, Aiko says, looking up to meet the eyes of her people, that even in darkness, there is light. Her words are a balm, soothing the wounds that loss has left behind. The villagers, filled with a shared understanding, bow their heads, and the silence is filled with the sound of the river, a constant companion in their journey. Itius. The ceremony concludes. Aiko remains at the shrine, placing her hand over her heart. We carry you with us, she whispers, a vow to honor Taro's sacrifice in every choice they make. Her gaze turns to the horizon, where the sun rises anew, painting the sky with the promise of tomorrow. In the quiet, the river sings, a hymn of life, echoing the legacy left behind. Kaito stands at the edge of the village, the quiet murmur of the river a gentle backdrop to his thoughts. His eyes trace the path of the water as it winds its way through memory and time. He was like the river, he muses, his voice a soft echo, carrying with him the weight of the past, yet always moving forward. Beside him, a young villager, eyes wide with curiosity, asks, "Do you think Taro's spirit is at peace now?" Kaito nods, a serene smile touching his lips. "Peace is a journey, not a destination," he replies, "and Taro's journey has brought us all closer to understanding." The village breathes with a newfound unity, the air thick with the scent of incense and the gentle rustle of leaves. Kaito watches as lanterns are lit, their warm glow flickering against the darkening sky. Light has a way of returning, even in the darkest times, he says softly, more to himself than to the boy. The young villager, inspired by Kaito's calm wisdom, asks, "Will we ever forget?" Kaito shakes his head, turning to gaze at the flickering lights that dance like spirits. "No," he whispers, "but we will remember with gratitude. Taro's sacrifice has woven us together, and in that woven tapestry, his spirit will always reside." A gentle breeze carries the scent of cherry blossoms, their petals swirling around them like whispered blessings. "The cycle continues," Kaito says, his voice carrying the weight of history and the lightness of hope. "As long as the river flows and the blossoms fall, we will honor those who walked before us." The young villager looks up, a newfound determination in his eyes. "Then, we will build a future worthy of their memory," he declares, the fire of youth sparking a promise. Kaito nods, resting a hand on the boy's shoulder. "Yes. Together, we will ensure that their light guides our path." As the village gathers, for the evening ceremony, Kaito stands back, watching the tapestry of lives that Taro's sacrifice has bound. The villagers join hands, their voices rising in a song of remembrance and renewal. "We walk this path not alone," Kaito murmurs, his heart swelling with pride, "but hand in hand, creating a legacy that will endure." In the distance, the river flows on, its song a timeless melody, a reminder of the endless cycle of life and death. Kaito closes his eyes, feeling the river's eternal embrace. "The journey continues," he whispers, knowing that Taro's spirit will forever guide them. "And we will walk it with courage and love." Hana kneels in the garden, her fingers tenderly tracing the soil, coaxing life from its depths. The flowers, vibrant and resilient, sway gently in the breeze, a chorus of color against the soft morning light. "It's as if they know," she murmurs, her voice a soft melody carried by the wind. The petals seem to nod in agreement, their hues, a reflection of the life that persists despite the shadows. Beside her, a young apprentice watches with wide eyes, hands mimicking Hana's careful movements. "Will they bloom again next year?" the child asks, curiosity mingling with hope. Hana pauses, her gaze drifting to the horizon where the past and future meet in a seamless embrace. "Yes," she replies with quiet assurance, "they will bloom. They always find their way back to the light." A gentle breeze stirs the air, and Hana closes her eyes, feeling the world breathe around her. The memories of Taro are a bittersweet echo, a silent promise woven into the fabric of her days. "He loved this garden," she says, her voice a gentle sigh. The child, sensing the weight of her words, reaches out, a small hand resting atop Hana's. "He still does," the young voice insists, filled with an innocent certainty that brings a soft smile to Hana's lips. "Yes," Hana concedes, eyes glistening with unshed tears, "he does." Her laughter rises then, a sound like the tinkling of chimes in the wind, carrying with it the warmth of remembrance. "I think he would say that we must tend to the roots, so the blossoms may flourish." Together they work in harmonious silence, the child learning and Hana teaching, their movements a dance of continuity and care. The earth yields to their touch, offering its bounty with quiet grace. As the sun climbs higher, casting a golden glow over the garden, Hana straightens, her back aching with the familiar comfort of labor. "It's not just the flowers," she muses, aloud, her gaze sweeping over the vibrant field. The child nods, understanding beyond their years. "It's the love you plant. It grows too." Hana's heart swells with a tender pride, her spirit buoyed by the simple truth. She looks to the sky, where cherry blossoms once fell like whispers of farewell, and speaks into the gentle stillness. "He found his way, and so shall we." The laughter that follows is gentle, a breeze that carries away the remnants of sorrow, leaving only peace and promise in its wake. The garden stands, a testament to resilience, a sanctuary of hope beneath the watchful sky. The dusk settles over the village like a gentle embrace, painting the horizon in hues of amber and violet. Yuki, the fox spirit, emerges from the forest shadows, its eyes a warm glow of vigilance. Perched on a hill overlooking the village, it surveys the tranquil scene below. "Do they slumber peacefully?" A soft voice echoes beside Yuki. It is Hana, her figure wrapped in the twilight's gentle touch. The fox spirit turns, its gaze meeting hers with an understanding that transcends words. "They do," Yuki replies, its voice like the rustle of leaves in a silent forest. The village breathes with the rhythm of harmony. For now. Hana nods, acceptance in her eyes. "We owe him much, more than can ever be repaid." She kneels, her fingers tracing patterns in the earth, as if weaving a tapestry of memories. Yuki watches her, its presence a constant, silent companion. His spirit watches over them, over us all, it murmurs, the wind carrying its words like whispers among the cherry trees. Hana stands, brushing the soil from her hands, her movements deliberate and graceful. "And you, Yuki? What of you?" she asks, her voice gentle yet probing. "I am bound to this place," Yuki responds, a flicker of ancient wisdom in its eyes. "As long as the river flows and the cherry blossoms dance, I shall remain, a guardian of dreams." Hana smiles, a serene curve that lights up her face. "Then I will tend to the flowers, so they always remember," she says, a promise woven in her words. The fox spirit tilts its head, acknowledging her vow. "We are threads in the same tapestry, each of us a keeper of stories," it replies, its form shimmering slightly as the moon begins to rise. A silence descends, peaceful yet filled with unspoken understanding. The village below is a mosaic of soft lights and shadows, a symbol of resilience and renewal. Hana turns to leave, her steps measured and light. "Thank you, Yuki," she whispers, her voice barely more than a breath, her gratitude enveloping the spirit like a gentle breeze. Yuki watches her departure, its form blending seamlessly into the night, ever vigilant. "Peace is a fragile gift," it muses to the stars, a silent vow echoing in its heart. "And I shall guard it. Always." The fox spirit stays on its perch, eyes ever watchful, as the night deepens and the village continues to dream beneath the eternal dance of the cherry blossoms. Aiko steps softly along the worn path leading to the shrine, her kimono whispering secrets to the wind. The moon bathes the stones in a silvery glow, casting dancing shadows that mingle with the memories of those who once tread here. Her heart, though heavy with the weight of loss, beats with a quiet resilience. Reaching the shrine, she kneels, before it, her fingers tracing the cool, smooth surface of the stone. "Taro," she murmurs, her voice a gentle sigh upon the night air. "Your spirit is like these blossoms, fleeting yet eternal." The wind stirs the branches above, and a single cherry blossom drifts down to rest at her feet, its pink hue vivid against the earth. Aiko closes her eyes, envisioning Taro's face, his eyes soft with unspoken promises. "I never knew a love like yours," she continues, a tear slipping down her cheek, catching the moonlight. "Your sacrifice. It wasn't in vain. You've given us hope, a chance to dream again." Her words carry the weight of 1,000 unspoken emotions, each syllable a thread in the tapestry of their shared destiny. The shrine stands silent, yet Aiko feels a warmth enveloping her, a gentle embrace from the spirit world. She smiles softly, her sadness tempered by a deep, abiding gratitude. "I will honor your memory," she vows, her voice steady now, a promise carved into the fabric of her soul. As she rises, the night air wraps around her like a comforting cloak. She turns, casting one last look at the shrine, the place where Taro's essence lingers. "Thank you," she whispers once more, her words a tender caress, a lullaby for the spirit that watches over her. The path back to the village is lit by the soft glow of lanterns, their flickering light a beacon guiding her steps. Aiko walks with purpose, her heart buoyed by the knowledge that Taro's spirit will forever walk beside her, a guardian in the shadows, a light in the darkness. The village, nestled in the embrace of the mountains, lies ahead, its heart beating, in time with the rhythm of the earth. Aiko carries Taro's legacy with her, each step a testament to the strength born of love and sacrifice, each breath a promise of renewal. As she enters the village, the world seems to inhale, holding its breath, in anticipation of a new dawn, a future woven with the threads of the past, and the enduring spirit of a warrior. The village lay silent beneath the watchful gaze of a waxing moon. Aiko walked alone, her steps guided by the silvery glow that painted a path through the cherry orchard. She paused, her fingers lightly brushing the delicate petals that hung like memories from the branches above. "You've grown into your strength," a voice murmured, soft as the breeze. Hana emerged from the shadows, her presence a comforting anchor. Aiko smiled, her heart warm. "I have learned from the best," she replied, her voice tinged with gratitude. "Taro taught me that true strength lies not in the sword, but in the heart." Hana nodded, her eyes glistening with a quiet joy. He was a man of honor, even in his silence. Her hands moved gracefully, gathering fallen blossoms in a gentle embrace. "His spirit dances among these petals, a part of our world forever." Aiko's gaze drifted to the horizon, where the first stars began to twinkle. "He believed in a future that could be shaped by our choices, by our love." She turned to Hana, her eyes filled with determination. "I will honor him by guiding this village toward that future." The air shimmered with an unspoken promise as Hana placed a hand on Aiko's shoulder. "We are never alone on this journey. Taro's spirit walks with us, as do the spirits of all who came before." Her words were a gentle balm, soothing the ache of loss. They continued their walk, the night enveloping them in its serene embrace. The fox spirit Yuki watched from a distance, its form a shadow among shadows. It understood the delicate balance of this world, the interwoven lives and stories that formed its tapestry. As they neared the sacred pond where Taro's journey had found its end, Aiko paused. She knelt by the water's edge, the surface reflecting the moon's gentle light. "Thank you, Taro," she whispered, her voice a steady pulse in the quiet night, "for showing me the path." The water rippled softly, as if acknowledging her words, carrying them to the depths where Taro's spirit lay. Hana stood beside her, the silence filled with a shared understanding. "He found his peace, and now we must find ours," she said, her voice firm with resolve. Aiko rose, her heart lighter, her purpose clear. "We will build a world where the cherry blossoms bloom, not just for their beauty, but for the promise they hold, a future forged in unity and love." Together they turned from the pond, their steps sure and confident, leaving behind the echoes of a past transformed by sacrifice and hope. In the distance, Yuki watched, its heart swelling with a quiet pride, knowing that this village bound by love and courage would endure.